Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic X Shadow Generations with Chaos Counseling. I do apologize about the unusual time that I'm doing this stream, but because I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow morning due to a work obligation, I've got some training I have to attend to, combined with Abby missing her stream this week, and she has a work obligation this week, so she won't be able to stream on Wednesday either. Abby and I both agreed it would probably be best that we did a stream this evening, and Abby didn't really have the spoons for a stream, so I'm just gonna stream this on my own. Let me think. So first off, hi Endangered, it's great to have you here. But, so, yeah, I'm glad you could join, Endangered. What's the word I'm looking for? Last time, we were able to successfully beat the normal Sonic Generations portion of the game, and then I just did the very first level of the Shadow part of things, but that's all I had time for, so...
I will assist you, Shadow.
In Space Without Time... Man, how am I going to stay caught up on Doctor Who? Even though I haven't stayed caught up on that in like a decade at this point. You know, I'll take it, Omega. I'm just grateful you're in a goddamn Sonic game. So. Okay, this is already way different than the basic. So for those who don't know, I had never played Sonic Generations prior to... streaming it. So this is already very different to the hub world, I guess, from regular Sonic Generations, because there's actually, like, rings you can collect? What? Can I not do anything here yet? Alright, I guess lose 1 point for exploration. Omega's such a neat character. I mean, I like Shadow because of the standalone Shadow, the Hedgehog game. Yeah, I don't really like that game very much, but I think I was just... I don't know. It was cool. I haven't played it in like 20 years, and it was cool to hate on that game, so... The fuck? Okay. But yeah, I never liked Shadow a ton as a character, just because I always felt he was the epitome of an uninteresting edgelord. Ironically enough, the movie with Keanu Reeves is, well, I just died, is what actually got me liking Shadow as a character again. Okay, I'm trying to remember if, I think this was the, okay, yeah, it was technically the opening act. Oh, my love of nostalgia, it was a kid playing it on the Wii. Yeah, no. Like, the only reason why Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game, and probably one of my favorite games of all time, is purely because of nostalgia. I acknowledge that game is not that good. Like, it is broken, it really doesn't control that well in some places. The Tails and Eggman sections are abysmal. Right. The Rouge and Knuckles segments, well, I definitely liked them as a kid. That's just because, A, I liked Knuckles. He was my favorite Sonic. I'd argue he actually still is my favorite Sonic character. Chaos Control, huh? But his segments move way too fast for them to be truly enjoyable. Okay. Okay, so I was aware... just through the grapevine that Shadow had chaos powers in this game, so I'm assuming that's... I mean, hell, also the trailer, he had wings, so I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to end up being. Again, I do still find it interesting that they decided to make, you know, a remake of Sonic Generations and then just did a side story for what Shadow did. Or what Shadow was getting up to rather than just make a brand new game. But considering how little Shadow featured in the story of Generations, plus that game's all about time travel anyway, I think it works. It's an idea that I think could definitely work. What the? What did I just do? Huh. Well, that was fun. Oh, God. Those. Oh, those gravity pulls live rent-free in my night. Fuck you. They live rent-free in my nightmares. Huh. You know, so far, yes, I've played all of 2 levels, but I definitely am enjoying the way Shadow controls better than I did Sonic and Classics. Well, especially Classics. I'm sorry. I am not trying to be a hater, but I do not like playing classic Sonic games very much. And I did not like the way classic Sonic controlled. Let's see. That's just... I already read that. Because... I don't know. Wait, what? Wait, can I always throw chaos? I'm assuming I'm throwing chaos or something. I mean, I'm playing a Shadow. Saying I'm attacking with chaos, I think, is just a fair, safe bet. Also, if Chaos, the character, came back into the series, could Shadow control him? I don't know if these are things that the developers thought and or cared about, you know? Thank you. Well, speaking of the wings, it still looks silly. I gotta be honest. R2 in the arrow. Oh, so this is like a supersonic mode because my rings are depleting. Okay. Okay, okay. I see what you're laying down, game. Oh, speaking of chaos, it's fake chaos. I know they have a different name rather than fake chaos, but I'm just calling them fake chaos. Because that's basically what they are. Oh, that is how I do. Huh. But yeah, like I said, I was not a big fan of Shadow until the live-action movie, and it's like, okay, you've sold me on Shadow as a character. I guess more accurately to say Keanu Reeves sold me on Shadow as a character, but that also might just because I'm a Keanu Reeves stan. Hey, man. Hey, Mario Walker. How are you? Thanks for joining us. I'm actually doing pretty well. Okay. All right. You know, not surprised. I was kind of going. I was dilly-dallying. Oh, okay.
What was that new power? I've never done anything like that before.
What?
Not something
Go
I
full
should
edgelord
know
and...
to do. Yet it felt natural.
Keanu not sell you on most roles he does.
Because
You haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic, I take it, because... Or Bram Stoker's Dracula, because... Quite frankly, as much as I love Keanu, he is the worst... Well, no. Bram Stoker's Dracula in general is just shit. But he does not do that movie any favors. To be fair, this is younger Keanu.
wait.
Seen those. Just piece of advice, if you haven't seen them, don't. Because at least in... He played the villain in the movie Much Ado About Nothing. And, oh.
I beg of you, please, do it for me.
Maria?
For all the people on that planet.
Yeah, young Keanu could be great, like Bill and Ted. I agree.
The hedgehog.
But this was like young Keanu after Bill and Ted, but before The Matrix, so...
Problem at hand, not chase. Dreams.
So he was not properly Anyway, it's hard to explain. But, like, he was also in the film version of Much Ado About Nothing, which, for the record, I do actually recommend that version because it's got Kenneth Branagh and, I forget her name. She's a famous actress in the leading roles, and damn, that movie's funny. But Keanu Reeves is sadly the weakest link out of the actors in that movie. But to be fair, I don't really blame Keanu. I think he was just miscast in that particular role. Find the sealing device. Oh. Okay, it was right there. What?
Something calls to me.
Then turn off your cell phone. Yes, I just stole that joke from Markiplier. I don't have any shame. Venus has a tough pet bully's good, to be fair. Well, too. Yeah, you know, I don't disagree. And there's nothing wrong with specializing in playing certain types of characters. As long as you can do it well, and as long as the characters are either really charming or really detestable in a right way, in the right kind of way. And the reason I say detestable is you could be really good at playing villains, you know? Granted, I am somewhat of the opinion that actors who can play really detestable villains need to be able to play multiple characters too, so it's kind of like, holy crap. So there's like a shock and contrast when they do play someone so hateable, you know? He's good at dry, smug snark and angry-driven bastards. Yeah, I think that's a completely fair assessment of Keanu's wheelhouse. Okay, I just wanted to see if, for whatever reason, it was now accessible. But yeah. But like I said, Keanu Reeves is just such a nice person and humble person from just everything I know about him, that I just can't help but love the guy, even if I don't love everything he's ever been in, you know? But contrary to what some people think, you don't have to love everything someone's ever been in to like them. Like Johnny Silverhand was perfect for him. What movie was that? What movie was that? I don't recognize that name. And granted, I'm not as big into watching movies as I once was. I get you. He's super lovable as an actor. Yeah. No, I'm not purposely getting Shadow killed because I don't like him. I just took my eyes off the screen, and when I looked back up, he was dead. It was a game. Oh, okay. So yeah, I've never played Cyberpunk 2077, but I do want to get it because it does sound like a game I might like. Plus, I've heard it might be a good game for Edgelord. Especially since, again, since Edgelord originated in Biomutant, I've wanted to take them through more dystopian, futuristic games. I mean, not to say that I haven't, because, you know, I took him through Knights of the Old Republic, but I do feel for the most part, most of the Edgelord games I've played for Edgelord have leaned a little more in the fantasy side of things, or modern. Well, then again, I did Halo Reach. Okay, maybe be good, other than V. The character you play as has voice. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, I didn't know that the character in Cyberpunk had a voice, so maybe it's not. Sorry. Like I said, I haven't played it. I have largely tried to not spoil myself on it too much, even though I've looked into it a bit. So, yeah, I misheard that it was another silent character game. So that's my bad. The game is at the game being voice added to V's head could work. Oh, that could be. Okay, I still need to actually get the game and play it for myself to actually properly make that call, but that was, I just did want to say that was something I was considering. I did, so I had played, shoot, what's it called? Not, The Outer Worlds. I had played The Outer Worlds a tiny bit a couple years ago, and I did not care for it very much. However, I also admit I bought the Switch version because I thought, you know what, an open world game. Let's see, I love Cyberpunk 2077, so it's fun to me. Okay, good to know. I will definitely take your recommendation into account. But, what's it called? I had gotten The Outer Worlds on my Switch because I thought, oh, a big open world game like that on the go? Yeah, that seems like a good idea. But I have had a lot of... did have a friend tell me that it's like, no, the Switch... Huh. Okay. The Switch just isn't powerful enough. I mean, then again, maybe my Switch 2 can handle it. I don't know. It's like, isn't powerful enough to really give you the best experience out of that. So I got a copy for the PS4. So I'm considering taking edgelord through that one. I've been debating on whether or not I should take edgelord through a Fallout game for a while. Because I think given the original world of Biomutant, which is very post-apocalyptic, it would be good. The problem I keep running into with it is which one? Because I know a lot of people say New Vegas is good, and I'll admit I'm a heretic who didn't really like New Vegas that much, but didn't play it that much, which leaves me, plus because I'd have to stream it off my 360, and unfortunately with a game from Bethesda, I am not comfortable playing those without the day one patches, since they love to release their games unfinished. I mean, it's just about wreck New Vegas. It's pretty crash. I mean, I was just about to wreck New Vegas. It's pretty crash heavy. Yeah. So I just don't think I can do New Vegas, even though I know that's a good one. Even if, again, I didn't love it. Which leaves me with Fallout 3, which I was able to beat. I actually did like Fallout 3 for what it's worth. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And then Fallout 4, which I also own. The problem I have with that is I thought it was kind of lame. Oh, they forced Nuvi out in an unfinished state. Yeah, that's what I've heard, but then again, the more I learn about Bethesda, that's sadly not that surprising. I mean, especially with what they did with the Fallout game where there was like no NPCs or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing is that, like you just said, 4 is fully voiced, so it does technically break my rule of the characters need to be customizable or at the very least silent, like Link or Samus, you know? So I don't think that's a good fit either. So I think just at the moment, the only one I could realistically do is 3. Which I liked 3 fine for what it is, but it's also not one that I'm necessarily... I didn't love it either, you know? And, yeah. So again, in a perfect world, I would take edgelord through Fallout New Vegas. Again, I didn't love it a ton, but I know it's a good one. I know that a lot of people do like it, and hey, I never fully played through that one, so it might be kind of fun to give that one a full playthrough, you know? I don't know. Like I said, in a perfect world, I would do a lot of things, but the world is not perfect. Unfortunately, I mean, technically speaking, I already kind of broke one of my rules when it comes to edgelord with Final Fantasy V. Yeah, if only it was perfect, because I was, you know, the game's main character is, you know, he is a character. He has backstory, he has lines, but because the main villain of Final Fantasy V was a tree, I'm like, I have to. I have to, since Edgelord's afraid of trees. It's too perfect. Let's see, I've actually been playing a pretty cool new RPG, think about it. It fit edgy, but it's not exactly a cheap game. Well, let me know. I mean, if nothing else, I can keep an eye on it and look for sales or whatever. Like, again, I'm not necessarily lacking for edgelord games. Like, I really am not, but if I don't keep looking for new ones, I will run out eventually, you know? Because I don't have such limitations on which games I could play. Yeah. DM me later. I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that quite a bit, actually. Because for the most part, I am always open for game recommendations. I say for the most part because, quite frankly, I can name a few circumstances where I'm like, I don't appreciate that game recommendation. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but you're kind of being an asshole about it. Plus, it doesn't help that, like, the game recommendation Excel sheet that we were trying to put into place didn't work as well as we'd hoped, so that didn't, yeah. Because, yeah, again, I want to be clear. I love it when you guys are enthusiastic about what we do. It is genuinely heartwarming to know that you guys are taking the time out of your days to, you know, watch us. Just, yeah, we're not the most professional streamers out there. We just do it for fun. So it means the world to me when you guys do tune in. But I will also admit sometimes people can be a little extra with their game requests. Let's see, it's a fantasy CRPG with a world ending threat. Okay. Yeah, that does sound like
This is the ultimate power.
yeah. Because I remember even Sunshine actually gave me a pretty good recommendation for edgelord lately, which I'm like, oh, thanks, Sunshine. It's like, I know that they haven't really been involved in the channel for a while, so it's nice to see them take interest, you know? And it's like, dang, from a pure story standpoint, it's a fantastic game for edgelord. It's just, I sadly didn't like the gameplay as much as maybe I wish I did, you know? And if anyone's wondering, the game is called Nameless Slays the Dragon. Well, fuck you too. Then again, if we're talking like a game that I am determined that I want to get good at because I want to do it for edgelord is called Wild Heart. Simply because the character customization is so cool. I'm like, edgelord would look really cool as one of the characters in that game. Even if I can't even get past like the second monster in that game, it keeps kicking my ass. Okay, are we sure we want to be opening the giant eyeballs? I mean, I'm just saying, those eyeballs are clearly tied into Black Doom in some capacity. S'il vous plaît, Amate, do we really want to get them, you know, more of them active? I can't help but feel that this is potentially a Shadow of the Colossus situation. I'm assuming I've never played Shadow of the Colossus anyway. That, we're going to inadvertently actually make things better for the bad guys. Which, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but yes, I've actually put Shadow of the Colossus on as a possible edgelord game. Because I've been told the main character of that game does not speak. If I'm wrong, please correct me before I commit to anything, you know? By the way, I have actually been I haven't been working on it as much lately because I've just been overworked and overtired and just, oh man, life is relentless. Shadow really is bad for accidentally helping his enemies. Yeah, definitely. But I have been working on a video that's like a history of edgelord. Basically, it's something that Abby has been saying I need to do for a while, just since there are so many people who were not there for the original edgelord stuff, who really could benefit from having just something they can consult to be like, okay, this is what the character is, I got it, you know? But yeah, I think, at least on my half of things, I'm halfway done with what I need to do. I mean, the longer I put it off, the more I'm going to have to do, because the more edgelord games I'm going to cover. And sure, not everything is... I'm dead. Not every part of edgelord's history is, like, crucial reading that you have to whatever. But by the same token, it's like, if I do get like a big character development moment for the emo Black Bunny, then I probably want to cover it in this video.
Ultimate power.
Oh yeah, and just for anyone who's wondering why I called edgelord an emo Black Bunny, I have a comic that I'm working on as well, which is another thing that's been keeping me... I mean, I haven't been working on that as much as I should have. But I have a comic that I've been working on, and in said... Oops. And in the comic, edgelord is depicted as a black rabbit. So... Again, I looked down for like 2 seconds, and oh dear. I survived! Yay. Alright, C tier. I died at... Seriously? Where's the original form is rabbit-like, then... Yeah, I mean, to be fair... So... The rabbit thing is, so, edgelord's original life was in Biomutant, where you played as, you know, an anthropomorphic animal in the apocalypse. So, when I was putting together an edgelord cosplay, Mike K, I clearly need to have, animal ears. And I thought, oh, even though you couldn't be a rabbit in Biomutant, bunny ears would be funny.
Shadow.
And yeah, it's stuck. I have very mixed feelings about Orbibot and Cubebot.
Hello.
On the one hand, I think they're pretty funny in the Sonic Boom TV show, but
Yes.
I gotta be honest, I don't like them as much in the games themselves. Yeah, it is pretty fitting. I agree, it is fitting for edgelord. Plus, it doesn't help that I found a plushie that was being sold that's basically a little black rabbit that's been, like, beaten up. So I'm like, perfect, it's an edgelord plushie. So, hi. Okay, now you're hostile. Huh. so you're invincible, I guess. Okay, where is the thing that I can interact with Black doing? Keep forgetting I can boost in the air. So I keep missing stuff like that. Oh, it's over there. Okay. Okay. I have an idea of where I need to be. Oh yeah, I guess just self-plug. I currently, for the first time in a while, have a poll going on for me and not Edgelord. So if you guys haven't voted on that and wanted to, I shared, it's on YouTube, it's on, well, okay, it's probably a little buried in Twitter at this point. It's on it's on Discord, it's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. But yeah, it's just a... How do I put this? I was getting enough recommendations for a specific type of game that I decided I was going to... Yeah, it should still be on Discord, Endangered. If not, I can send you the link directly. So, again, the original plan was I was going to do Dragon Age, Sonic, Tales, not necessarily in that order, but those were the 3 games I was going to be looping between. But, again, I started getting enough recommendations for a particular type of game that I decided to add that into my roster, as my rota as well. So, again, the Dragon Age Inquisition stream is still coming, but I do still want to play one of the 6 games I have out on the poll before I get to Inquisition. Granted, given what game is currently leading the poll, being a game I absolutely despise, and I mean, it's not like my least favorite game of all time, which I hate because it's almost amazing. This is one that it's like, not the biggest fan for a few reasons that I'm like, this is arguably kind of offensive. So there's a chance that I have no idea how long I'll actually end up playing that game. So I might just, again, if the one that's currently leading the poll wins, I might do a couple streams and be like, okay, it's time to move on to Inquisition. But yeah, if you can't find it, Endangered, just let me know. And like I said, I will, I'll just send it. I'll send it to you. Okay. Challenge. 3 keys. Okay. 3 keys. Got it. No, I want to land right. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Would you like me to send it to you now, Endangered? So you don't have to look for it. Because, again, I am more than willing... Actually, you know what? I am going to... Because not everyone who tunes into the streams are members of Discord or follow us on Twitter. So there is the link for anyone who wishes to vote. Yeah. Just... Wait, hold on. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Sorry, I need to do something real quick before we continue the stream, because I forgot to do something before the stream started. It's nothing too serious, but... Where is it? I'm on my phone. No. I love reading my webtoons, but now is not the time. Thank you. We're back. That didn't do anything, did it? Nope. Okay, there we go. Oops. I got distracted. Gotta go fast.
All right.
Okay. But yeah, so oh geez. Yeah, endangered, you still here? Okay, did that get me the key? Oh. That's rude. In the basic generations, I only had to do one of the challenges to get the key.
This is the ultimate power. All right. No.
Oh. Okay. That's fine.
Chaos control.
What'd that do for me?
Ultimate power.
Oh. Hold on. Sorry, I made a mistake. Okay. No, you're good. But yeah, so... Oh, geez. Mistakes were made. But basically, the games I was getting recommendations of that this poll is that between me and Sunshine going on for like 45 minutes about just our thoughts about overly sexualized women in video games combined with my playthrough of Lollipop Chainsaw. Nice to watch a stream with my dinner. No, I agree. I actually was getting a number of recommendations from people saying, hey, this is a game that that has a ridiculous amount of fan service in it. We'd kind of be interested in hearing what... Okay, but what's the set number of rings? but some people were like, they were kind of interested to hear what I had to say about some of these games. Well, some of them anyway. Like, hold on. I keep messing myself up. I mean, the Knights of Azure 2 stream, that was one that, well, that's a game that I was already unfortunately aware of. But yeah. So it was like, yeah, here are just a bunch of games with fan service that they kind of wanted to see, people wanted to see my opinions on. Okay, so I guess I've got the ring count. Yeah, some of the ones on there I think are infamous for their fan service, right? Yes! Completely. Like, specifically, I mean, I've got a Dead or Alive Extreme game on there, and I'm going to say this wrong, one Cabraca or something like that. They're nothing but fan service games. But, yep. I mean, both of those are games that I saw commercials for saw advertising for when I was in high school, and unfortunately they have lived rent-free in my brain my entire life. So
Ultimate power.
oh man, I remember playing an early Dead or Alive game on the OG Xbox. Was pretty young. Yeah. Like, the reason I'm doing an extreme game rather than a classic DOA game is because, let's see, and even the main fighter games would be fair bit of fan service, but the Dead or Alive games on your list is, yeah, it's the volleyball one. The reason I'm not doing a normal Dead or Alive game, and the reason why I'm doing the volleyball ones instead, is because the modern Dead or Alive games that I have access to are more tasteful. Okay, what was the... Let's see. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I admit I didn't fully read the challenge. I was...
Out of my way. Out of my way.
Modern Dead or Alive games a lot more tasteful mostly. I have one of the newer games. I just suck at fighting controls now. I feel ya. That's kind of the Oops. I mean, that's kind of the thing I've noticed about modern Mortal Kombat games too, which I'm okay with, by the way. Is like, what was it, Mortal Kombat 9 that came out on the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, which was the Mortal Kombat game that really got me into Mortal Kombat. Yes, I played some of the older arcade games when I was younger, but I wasn't really a Mortal Kombat kid growing up. But, yeah, that game, woo! The fan service in that game. Melina, my goodness. What was with the outfit that she had in Mortal Kombat 9? Like, all of her outfits. But, you know, as soon as we get to Mortal Kombat 10, I can really only play one simplified fighter. Controls like the new MK games, like you mentioned. Well, yeah. But, like, as soon as we get to Mortal Kombat 10, while there's still plenty of fan service costumes in Mortal Kombat 10, it is much more tasteful as a whole. Shit. Hey man, I had some guy fan service in Mortal Kombat. Also, you know, that's good. That is something that me and Sunshine talked about years and years ago, is that we really, it's like fan service, if you're going to have fan service, spread it out. Please. You know, it's like, I think fan service has its place in video games, but when fan service purely exists to objectify women, that's not okay. And just does a lot to reinforce that the really unhealthy mindset of video gaming is a male space, if you know what I mean. Yeah, no, Jax is a good example of that, you know? And yeah, the idea that gaming is a space for men is bullshit. Although so Knights of Azure 2, which is on the list, the reason I really don't like that game is because it's more than just a game with a ton of fan service. So, if any of you guys watched my playthrough of the first Knights of Azure, you would know that it's a game, it's a lesbian love story game. And it's very sweet. Now, it shifted to there are many games and girly games. Blech. No, for real. Over there, K. But it is a lesbian game. It's a game about, you know, two women, you know, coming together despite all the odds in the world saying they can't be together or whatever. And I think it's sweet. Quite frankly, like, I know that if a woman, you know, someone told me, no, it's not okay, I would be like, okay, it's not my place to tell you that if this game should or should not make you uncomfortable, you know? But Knights of Azure 2, on the other hand, it's like Knights of Azure, the first one, had fan service, but the game kept the fan service out of the emotional bits between the main characters. That's thrown out the window for the sequel, so it's now just objectifying the LGBT community, and it just makes me sad. Okay, these are called artificial chaos, not fake chaos. So yeah, it goes from being a game that I think has half... The first game is, I think, decent representation to... Yeah, we know that heterosexual straight guys like to fetishize lesbians, so that just really makes me angry, because Knights of Azure was so much more. At least the first one was. Yeah, it's... Yeah. And that's another reason why I reserve the right to say I'm done with Knights of Azure 2. Just because it's like, if it gets bad enough that I'm like, I can't keep doing that. I've made my peace. I've made my case as to why this game is such a massive downgrade from the first one. Go play the first one, ignore this game, you know. Then I will be content. And then, like I said, we can move on to Dragon Age Inquisition. Hey man, everyone has to have their yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting concept. I'm probably gonna hate this. Oh, yeah. Yes, I hate this. Oh, I hate this. I can already tell I might not like, again, from a gameplay standpoint, I am preferring this to normal generations, but oh jeez, the fact that all the challenges are a requirement to beat the game, I'm like, ooh, we are not friends, game, because at least normal generations had the benefit of, hey, if you suck at platforming, you can still get through the game. Okay. I think that's everything. Nope. There's a key over there. Okay. 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 Is this meant to be a second tough challenge to the normal generations fans? Maybe. I don't know. I admit I'm not a real Sonic fan. Like, I grew up... with Sonic the Hedgehog. This is true. But it was going over to a friend's house to play some of the Sonic 3, which was the one that had multiplayer. And I always played as Tails, so he played the actual hard parts as Sonic. Then I watched the Sonic TV shows in the 90s, and then played Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Heroes as a kid. And, I mean, yes, I played Sonic in the Black Knight, and I played a little of... well, I played it, but no, I didn't. A little Sonic in the Black Knight and a little Unleashed growing up, but I didn't touch a Sonic game until Forces, so that was like 10 plus years, and I've barely touched Sonic as a whole. So yes, I'm not a real Sonic fan. And same, I've never really been a huge Sonic fan either, but I don't even care for platformers much. Got really to Jak, or at least Jak 2. Okay. Oh wait, use perk. Yeah, I have been very open about the fact that I don't really care for platformers as a whole. Now, there are exceptions, of course, like I like Yooka-Laylee, and I'm absolutely going to buy Yooka Replayly. And I might even do a stream of Yooka Replayly, just since I streamed Yooka-Laylee. The only reason why I haven't streamed Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair is because I'm absolute dog shit at it. Even though I do like it. I do also have a soft spot for the NES Donkey Kong Country games, but that's because they were some of the first games I ever played because my uncle owned them. Oops. Simply suck at platformers. Same. But like, again, I'm a heathen. I vehemently dislike... There's almost not a... I don't think there's a single Mario platformer I actually like. Because, like, at a convention, I found someone was selling their used copy of the Mario Superstars. You know, the one that had Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to own this just for the history, if you know what I mean. I played each one for, like, a couple minutes, and then I'm like, I'm done. I'm bad at these games. I mean, I like some action platformers, like There's a number of Mega Man games I like pretty well. Mostly the Sonic X or Sonic Zero games. Like, I do not like classic Mega Man very much, besides just Mega Man 5 was one of the first games was also one of the first games I ever played. But that aside, not a fan. I like Metroidvania-esque games. Like Metroid Fusion, Castlevania Dawn of Sorrows. I would rank them as pretty high on my favorite games of all time list. I don't know if they'd be in the top 10. The closest I got to liking platformers was the Lego games. Fair. They definitely have elements of platforming in them, so I'm going to say that that's fair. But yeah, But yeah, I wouldn't say that either Dawn of Sorrows or Metroid Fusion would be in my top 10 games of all time list, but like I said, they would be in my they are up there.
Deeply appreciated.
Again, it is funny just how much I don't like Mario games as a whole, when Paper Mario, the first two, are two of my favorite games of all time, you know? Heck, Bug Fables and the Everlasting Sapling, which is a love letter to those first two Paper Mario games, I might list in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Might. Because there are other games that I just have so much nostalgia for that might supersede it in my ranking, if you know what I mean. Alright, what's this? Oh! Already? I thought this was going to be one later in the game. Huh. Huh. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know this is like... That's not what the Biolizard sounds like.
You tortured soul. I will end your suffering.
I mean, I know that the Biolizard is like Shadow's first personal antagonist that's not like tied into Sonic or whatever, but given just how personal the Biolizard is to Shadow's story, I figured this would have been saved for later in the game.
Your energy is still unstable. I need to target light.
Okay, that is seriously not what the Biolizard's supposed to sound like, and it's bugging me. Wait, what? What? Okay, this wasn't part of the original boss fight. I would know. I've done it a fuck ton of times. Why does the Biolizard have Sasuke wings? Okay,
You think those will stop me?
well, they might stop me because I have a very clear understanding or very clear belief of this is how the fight should go, so the fact that this is deviating at all, it might stop me, Shadow. I'm sorry. Although then again, it looks like they got rid of the liquid in the middle of the room, so that's already a vast improvement. Just saying. Wow. No, I agree. I'm being facetious with the complaint, really. But yeah. I guess another platformer that I kind of liked, if you want to consider it a platformer, which I do, sort of. I mean, I guess it's more of an adventure game, but I still am going to count it in this, is Star Fox Adventure, even though it's not a great game. And that's just, and the reason I'm considering it a platformer is because it was developed by Rareware, and it was originally something else entirely before... before it became a Star Fox game, you know? Oh.
You think those will
Oh, you're not sending me all the way back to the start of the fight. That's surprisingly generous.
Pop. I already know your weaknesses. Too easy. Chaos control.
Drat. Let's hope we can time that a little better. I know this is never going to happen because he was never as popular of a character by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I would kind of love to see a Silver X or Sonic X Silver generation style game, you know? Just because I really do feel Silver's a character that, well, no, I take it back. I'd rather see a Sonic X Blaze generations, because Blaze is a character I do really like. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing more of Silver, but Blaze is the character to me that really deserves a game to herself.
Let's do this.
Wait, what? Silver got pretty bad rap after Sonic. Well, yeah, because like Shadow got a good rap because his first game was Sonic Adventure 2, which is one of the most beloved Sonic games of all time. Silver was introduced in the most hated, one of the most just fundamentally broken Sonic games of all time. So he kind of didn't stand a chance, you know?
Chaos control.
Okay, was that?
All you got?
I don't know. It seemed pretty effective to me.
I'll give it all back.
I seriously don't know what I'm doing.
This is the ultimate power.
Okay.
Take this.
But yeah, Blaze and Infinite are two characters in the Sonic franchise I want to see more of. Because I feel they both got kind of bad raps. Again, at least I know in Blaze's case, her first actual game she debuted in was good. It's just she indirectly got tied into Silver, so that didn't help her situation. It was one of those 2DS games, I think. Yes. Yeah, her first appearance was, I think it might have been Sonic Rush on the DS. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think that's where Blaze made her debut. It's just not as many people played that game as memed on Sonic 06, if you know what I mean.
Finest creation, Black Doom. I destroyed you once. I will do it again.
Oh, endangered, by the way. Since I know you left to make dinner, I initially shared the poll. Oh, wait, no, you commented on the poll, so yes, you did go see it. Never mind. Don't mind me. My brain is not thinking good with stuff.
Anomaly has accelerated my plans to revive my forces and consume the world.
Yeah, I give Shadow some credit that he's not standing around listening to him. He's like, bitch.
Show yourself. We'll finish this here and now.
You are not ready yet. We are not ready yet. Once you have been perfected, then we will have our reckoning.
Oh God, I is having such a huge fit. I am so sorry to hear that. I kind of feel like Black Doom right now is like the... Oh, I forget what they're called. The Emperor from Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, oh, you need to be perfected in order to be, you know, the most powerful you can be. I mean, Black Doom's eye has about as many tentacles as the Emperor did, so...
Something calls to me.
Yes, it's fangirl shippers. They're calling to you. They're saying, please get with fill in the blank here.
No. No.
Alright, that's dope as hell. Yeah, I like this. I'm just gonna say it. I like this. And maybe it's just because I really like Rays, but I like this. What's that? Huh. Alright, so as near as I can tell... Seriously, what is that? You guys see that kind of like purple glowing ring things, right? Ow. Oh, yeah, I can only go this way. Never mind. Can't use that as a... But it's pretty funny that they didn't make Shadow run on water or anything. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess I never really checked that to see if I could do that. Okay. Okay. I may have failed this challenge, like, utterly. Yes, saying I utterly failed that challenge is an understatement. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go this way. Oop, I want to grab the nuts. I want to grab the bolts. I don't know. I'm gonna get all of them, so I don't know if it's gonna matter, but I know what they're for, so I want to get them. Also, I can definitely say that Shadow's hub world is way better than Sonic's. I also do find it a little strange, kind of thinking about just the regular Sonic generations. We got young Sonic and old Sonic, but there wasn't a young Knuckles as well, since he existed back in the olden days. I mean, technically Amy did too, but everyone knows we can't have girls be part of the main crew. These water controls look really fiddly. I mean, yes, but they're nowhere near as bad as the water controls from Crash Bandicoot 3, so I can cope. Alright, what is this? Oh, no. Oh, no. Nope, 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 nope. Sorry. I need a minute. I'm getting Sonic 06 PTSD right now. I need a second. Alright, fine. I'm doing it, but it's under protest. Have we found any of the Sonic movie stages yet? No. I was under the impression those were DLC. And I haven't purchased... Actually, I could purchase the DLC now. Because I didn't have the money to buy them last week when I streamed. Yeah, no. Yeah, well, shit. Yeah, I don't know. See, damn, I bought it as a combo, lol. Yeah, I know there's like I could buy like the digital upgrade pack for $10, which gets me the Terios the Hedgehog skin and some of the DLC, which again I kind of do want to do, just if for no other reason than getting the movie levels would be fun. And I kind of want to have the Terios the Hedgehog skin because I don't know, that's just cool gaming history, if you know what I mean. Plus, Terios the Hedgehog does answer a question I've always had about Sonic Adventure 2, so... Oh, have you not heard this story? I guess you haven't tuned into... You haven't been able to watch my streams in a while just because of our conflicting schedules. Google Terios the Hedgehog, just so you have an image in front of you. And let me know when you see him. He should be a dark blue hedgehog with a scar on one of his eyes. Okay. Okay. I understand now. Okay, so Terios the Hedgehog is basically prototype Shadow. Before Shadows was decided on for Sonic Adventure 2, the plan was Sonic's rival in the game was going to be Terios the Hedgehog. Terios, I don't remember what language it is, but it means mirror image. Well, apparently, the change from Terios to Shadow happened somewhat later into production. The reason for it is, again, if you look at Terios, he does look like Sonic. At least more than Shadow does. Well, there's a plot point in Sonic Adventure 2 that... I did it again. That's mocked in Sonic 06 when Amy mistakes, Silver for Sonic. But in Sonic Adventure 2, everybody, especially the military, mistakes Shadow for Sonic. despite the fact that they're really not that similar looking. They're different colors, their quills are different. Shadow has the fur on his chest, and Sonic has the little O on his chest, or little oval. Well, again, the reason for that is that's a holdover plot point from when the game was supposed to be featured Terios. And to my understanding, this is actually a bit of a Sonic lore, or at least Sonic trivia, that only recently was discovered, or recently revealed by Sega. So, just to kind of, celebrate Shadow, the Year of Shadow or whatever, they're like, hey, we're going to add Terios to Sonic X Shadow as a downloadable costume. Because, again, once upon a time, that was supposed to be Shadow. And, yeah, I just find it kind of interesting, you know? And I love hearing stories about what games were like originally intended to be, you know? Or what characters were originally supposed to be. And I just think it's fun. I just think learning that sort of thing is it's very fun to me. Kind of like how, what's it called? I think Crash Bandicoot was originally supposed to be named, Willy Wombat or something like that. And I'm kind of glad they went with Shadow. Terios is a little too similar to Sonic. I agree. Like, for the record, I know that from a plot standpoint, Terios' design makes more sense. But I don't think it's that great of a design. It's a little too Ken Pendersy for my taste. And if you don't know who that is, don't Google him. Let's just say he's the reason why Sega can't use a number of characters, especially, hell, speaking of evil clones of Sonic, he's the reason why Sega can no longer use Scourge the Hedgehog, who is literally an evil alternate universe version of Sonic, among some other characters, but that's beside the point. Again, I keep saying I don't want to talk about Ken Penders in these Sonic videos, and then I basically give his whole history. So I'm just going to move on. Right. That's what those are for. So I can use Chaos Control. Okay. Uh-oh. Because, yeah, again, just in many respects, I kind of feel that Terios' design really would just be Scourge again. It would be a video game version of Scourge. So, we don't need that because Scourge already existed. And at the time of the creation of Sonic Adventure 2, Sega did still own the trademark on Scourge. Technically, they still do, but they also don't. It's confusing. All right, part 2, let's go. Uh-oh. I can already say I'm liking these 2D levels much better than I did in the regular game, simply because I can use... I have access to the air dash ability. And I mean, also, another reason why I'm glad they went with Shadow instead of Terios is most people wouldn't get what the name Terios even meant, you know? I just looked up Scourge. He's a lot more interesting looking than Terios. I agree. again, it's just unfortunately Sega can't use him anymore due to just a legal headache because Archie Comics dropped the ball heavily with one of their creators. Granted, at the same time, I'm just thinking about it. I'm kind of glad Scourge can't be used anymore because I just remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, he is technically part of the storyline where like all three of the three female Sonic characters get sexually assaulted. It's a shame to get locked out from pretty good character design. Well, okay, to be fair, it wasn't technically Skirt. Fuck it. Basically, here's the rundown of what you need to know about Scourge and Ken Penders Endangered. Basically, Ken Penders was the main writer of the Sonic comics for over a decade. And he loved creating new characters. The problem is, so many of his new characters were just Sonic but evil, aka Scourge, or Sonic but he's also Robin Hood. So basically a character that could not exist without the pre-existing characters, if you know what I mean. Well, as soon as he left Archie Comics, the Ian Flynn, who's actually the current writer of the Sonic comics with IDW, reinvented a lot of characters, Scourge included. He reinvented... He's basically an OC problem. Ken Penders basically had an OC problem. Very much so when it came to Knuckles, but we're not going to talk about that. But what happened is that Ian Flynn, I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong, took the concept of Evil Sonic and then just changed, because he was literally just called Evil Sonic while Ken Penders was writing for him. He looked exactly like Sonic, other than the fact that he wore a leather trench coat. Other than that, there was no difference between them. Oh, and sunglasses. Anyway, like I said, Ian Flynn took over the comic and completely reimagined Evil Sonic as Scourge. Meaning, Ken Penders is not actually responsible for creating Scourge or creating the design of Scourge. But because he's technically Evil Sonic, who Ken Penders did technically create, when the legal issues that went down because Archie Comics dropped the ball in terms of properly protecting the trademarks they had under their tutelage, Ken Penders was able to successfully sue for ownership of every character he created for Archie, which included Evil Sonic. The problem is, it's like, well, but Evil Sonic is just Sonic, but in a trench coat. Not a trench coat, a leather jacket. So it's like, it's like, Ken, you can't legally, you can't legally, do anything with this character because he wouldn't exist without Sega's pre-existing characters. What's more, he didn't create the Scourge design. That's, again, the Scourge design was created completely by Ian Flynn or whatever. But, again, due to some legal issues, Ken Penders legally owns Evil Sonic, even if he can't legally put him in any of his stories. But, oh, hi, Big. But because Scourge is technically Evil Sonic, despite the fact that he actually licensed Scourge out to another comic company, illegally, by the way, like Sega sued his ass for that one. Sega can't actually use Scourge either, even if they own Scourge technically. Evil Sonic does sound like a character. It's like trying to copy those like recolor OCs. Just retcon Scourge to be his own thing. It's tricky. I don't disagree that you think it would be as simple as that, but I'm not an expert in copyright law, so I don't know everything that went on to it. Is such a BS idea. Scourge his own thing as is. I mean, because here's the other problem. Once Ian Flynn took over writing for Scourge, he was still an alternate version of Sonic from another universe. Like, that was very much still part of his character. And every story that has to do with him ties into the fact that he just can't get over the fact that Sonic is just a better version of him, if you know what I mean. So unfortunately, there is no standing for Sega or IDW to say, like, no, Scourge was anything other than just an evil clone of Sonic, which once again was done first by Ken Penders. Yes, no. Sorry, I missed this at first. I just went back and read it. Ken Penders is, yes, he may have been the official Sonic creator for a long, or the official comics creator for a while, but he is basically just a Sonic OC creator. Like, and the worst of the worst variety, yeah. Wow, this is annoying as fuck. I have no idea if that actually did anything profound for me. Okay, that's like saying the evil universe idea can be copyrighted. No, I agree with you completely. I mean, hell, just to give you an idea, so Knuckles had basically no lore to his name until Sonic Adventure 1. Besides, he's the guardian of the Master Emerald and he lives on Angel Island. That was basically the beginning of the end for it. Well, Ken got obsessed with Knuckles and even was able to get a Knuckles comic approved. That was his passion project, because since Knuckles didn't have as much pre-existing lore, he could kind of do whatever he wants. And basically, he walked away with the rights to every single Echidna character from the Archie comics, like having the rights to them, because, well, he did create them for Sonic. As such, when the Sonic movies, or like Nintendo's dumbass I so hope that patent gets denied, because that's bullshit. But when the Sonic movies featured Echidnas, like I'm talking even before like Knuckles' father was shown in the sequel, he actually tried to sue Paramount. Well, he threatened to sue Paramount. He didn't have actually the money to do so, saying, hey, I invented all the other Echidnas in Sonic's lore. You can't use Echidnas in your movie.
This is the ultimate.
But then when Knuckles' father actually made a physical appearance in the second movie, he's like, hey, I invented Knuckles' father. I'm like, yes, you invented... I'm not going to use their real names because I don't know them. It's like, yes, you invented Bobbert, you invented a character named Bobbert who happened to be Knuckles' father in the Archie comics. You did not invent Jonathan, who happens to be Knuckles' father in the movies, you know? We're talking that level of delusional. Let's see, apparently they went through, but good luck enforcing that. You're kidding, it went through? That's bullshit. Nintendo, you're slipping. Like, I want to love you guys. That's the honest truth. Because they're responsible for so many of my favorite games and franchises, and I've always had Nintendo consoles growing up, but you're slipping, guys. That's just a douche move. Nintendo started slipping since the Switch 2 was announced. Yeah, I mean, I actually rather like my Switch 2, but yeah, the timing does match up, definitely. Let's see, or the lawsuit with Pal World started. Also, I agree. Like, I do not agree with the Pal World lawsuit at all. I think it's BS. I haven't played Pal World, so I'm not speaking as an angry fan. I'm just speaking as someone who loves art, you know? Let's see, the Switch 2 is overpriced for its specs, like all the Nintendo stuff. Yeah, but that also could simply be because of a number of factors. Again, I'm not defending its price tag. Yes, douche canoe. But yeah. Although, speaking of Nintendo as well as movies and whatnot, I do not know how I feel about the upcoming Zelda movie, because on the one hand, doing it live action means that you could technically get people to take it more serious a little easier, but by the same token, as much as I was indifferent to the Mario movie, it just kind of embraced itself, if that makes sense. So it was Mario, you know? But it's a little harder to do that, you know, have a movie about a cartoon fantasy world or an animated fantasy world in live action, you know? All right, let me read this. And their dev kit BS saying, oh, dev, you games for the Switch 1. We don't care if it means all third-party games on the Switch 2 are poorly optimized. Oh, lovely. I do actually kind of like... Oh, dear. I do like the... Well, I'm dead. I do like the visual effects here as, like, the cylinders unfold around me. That's cool. I like that. Again, which new power? I got a couple. Has been scummy for years. Yeah. True. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right.
I don't like this segment anymore. I retract what I said earlier. I don't know. I'll still take Nintendo over EA, but yeah, you are. But two things can be true at once. Nintendo can be scummy, and EA can be scummy too. Oh, jeez. I am so happy lives are optional in this game. Oh, so speaking of platformers, and in my own perverse way, I'm like, oh my fucking god. At this point, Nintendo is just... they're getting to that. Depending on what they do with the new Pokemon game, they are not physically there yet, since they have yet to pull necessary features from games to release them as DLC on day one. But given what was just announced about the new Pokemon Legends game, they're flirting with that line, and they're about to, you know, make out with it. So, yes, if they still have time to make some changes, but yeah. Those are specific megas being held back as DLC. No, I'm aware of that. Again, I'm just saying there's a chance they can walk that decision back. Because I've seen some decisions get walked back due to poor fan reaction in other games, you know? So, but we'll see. Like I said, they are doing everything they can to, you know, get to first base with that line, but they've yet to physically cross it just yet. Then walk back any decision. Nintendo is too big right now. Again, I don't disagree with you, but I'm being hopeful. Since at the because Nintendo is still the home of Kirby, and Kirby's Sakurai's baby, and Sakurai very much cares about the player base, you know? Which, speaking of Kirby, I cannot wait for Kirby Air Riders. I loved Kirby Air Ride as a kid, and it's been 21 years since that game came out, and I cannot wait to finally play its sequel. Yeah, it doesn't stop the multi-billion-dollar corporations from making awful decisions. Again, you're not wrong. I want to be clear, just because, I mean, look at Konami. They had the creator of Metal Gear and Castlevania, the creator of Silent Hill. You know, these are legendary artists, and they still fucked things up with those guys, and they left. And maybe, I mean, I know that he couldn't take Kirby with him, which is his baby, but I can't fully abandon Sakurai. He has done too much to genuinely make my childhood and just the games I love truly amazing, you know? Corporations be damned. Let's see. They need to get humbled again like they did with the Wii U. Yeah. I agree. I think I could be wrong with my timeline, but to me, they really started going downhill when the old Nintendo of America president stepped down. That was weird. Didn't let me do the... But, let's see, that sounds about right. What the Nintendo fans had to say. Yeah. It's because he was very much... Yeah, he was absolutely a businessman. But it was very much like, we gotta think of the fans, because they're the ones who buy our products, you know? I've been a big Nintendo boy. I only really got in the Wii and the DS era. Yeah, I am absolutely a Nintendo child. The very first console I owned that was not a Nintendo console was my 360 that I got in college. So. Oops.
Let's do this.
So, I love Nintendo. Let me phrase that. There are just too many Nintendo properties that I love, you know? I love Zelda, I love Kirby, I love, where was I going with this? Zelda, Kirby, Smash Brothers, which I know is just an amalgamation of Nintendo. I love Pokemon. But yeah. I loved Paper Mario, but Miyamoto kind of ruined that. Anyway, back to Sonic. I am really curious to see what the plot of Sonic 4 is going to be. Because the fact that it's got Metal Sonic and Amy very much is like, okay, that is Sonic CD, I think. I think that was the game that those two were introduced. And it well, sorry sidetracking you so much. You know what? I like being sidetracked because I like talking to you guys. It's no problem. But, again, from what I know about that game, time travel was involved. So it's like, are they going to do the time travel or no? What's more,
Maria! Thank you, Shadow.
Where did you learn to fight like that?
They must be from a point in time before the Ark disaster. Perhaps I can change their fate.
Shadow? You look grim. Are you alright?
I'll be fine. We'll all be fine. Find somewhere safe to hide. I'll take care of everything.
maybe you should savor the time with them real quick. They really are giving a sort of glow up to his old game story with this one. I agree, because, again, not that his old story was bad or anything like that, but it was limited. It was limited by the presentation of the time. And let's be real, the early 2000s, with a few exceptions, Lord of the Rings, its movies, it's just the way that it presented its stories haven't aged the greatest, in my humble opinion. Let's see. But so back to, Sonic 4. So it's like, okay, if it's a proper adaptation of Sonic CD, which I don't necessarily think I want, but is Sonic CD dealt with time travel. So are they going to incorporate the time travel elements from Sonic CD? And if they are, that might be a good opportunity to work Silver into the movies if that's something they want to do. Again, they might not. Again, Silver's kind of the black sheep of the hedgehogs, to say the very least. The overlooked redheaded middle child. But also what are they going to do with Metal Sonic? Because the fact that there were multiple Metal Sonics in the end credits scene in Sonic 3, that's already very different. Let's see. They really give... That's not something that Metal Sonic has ever done, as far as I know, at least in the games. Maybe that's a plot point from the comics. I don't know. I've honestly never really read the comics too much. I am just aware of them, and I'm aware of some of the characters. As well as I'm also aware of, like I said, the Ken Penders drama. But that's because... Anyway, so something that I've seen people say, it's like, are they going to go for a Sonic CD vibe, or since Metal Sonic is clearly going to be one of the bads, are they going to have Metal Sonic go Metal Overlord like from Sonic Heroes? I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Neo Metal Sonic, and I would love to see Metal Overlord. But again, that's because I grew up with Sonic Heroes. I didn't grow up with Sonic CD. But I don't know. I don't know what I want to see. In many respects, it might be more fun if they did a completely original story, you know? well, maybe not completely original, but I think you guys know what I mean. That rather than trying to like do what like the first two movies did, where like they're not as concerned about adapting stories from the games per se. They're more just interested in let's take some ideas presented in those games and do our own thing with them. I mean, heck, you could even argue that's technically what they did with Sonic 3, but I would still argue that Sonic 3 is much more of an adaptation of one of the games than the first two movies were. And yes, it's obviously Sonic Adventure 2, but you know what I mean. Sweet. That did not get me any closer to where I think I need to be going. Right. Okay. Okay. Drop the down drawbridge. Okay. Okay, I'm grateful that the Chaos Spears are not that difficult to work with. Because, oof. Like, I mentioned Star Fox Adventure earlier, and yeah, the puzzles where you had to shoot the locks above a door were some of the worst parts of that game, because the reticles were not properly displayed. I don't think that game had a reticle. You had to just put your staff in a general area and pray to whatever gods you believe in. Okay, I do actually like this mechanic of using an enemy to traverse, because you kick them and then like warp to them. It's a fun little gimmick. It's a fun mechanic. It can be a little frustrating, sure, but it's a fun mechanic. Okay. Okay, not the solution. It's also fitting that Shadow's character is a mechanic. Yeah, definitely. Okay, this is a boss room, so I still have one key. Okay. Okay, so it looks like, oh, that makes sense, actually. So again, I did try to be a little unspoiled with this game, but it didn't work completely. I am aware that Mephiles is in this game. In fact, that's the entire reason I subjected myself to Sonic 06 before playing this game, was because I knew Mephiles was in this game, but he's a hidden secret boss fight. And from what I know, Mephiles is the one boss that needs 4 door keys, not 3. So my guess, and definitely if there's anyone, is that the reason they give you 4, an extra key each time, is you need to get all 4 every time they become available, and then at the end, when you do finally have access to the Mephiles boss fight, those extra keys you've collected along the way are what unlock Mephiles' fight. Yeah. Let's see. Sounds like a good game designed to do it that way, to be honest. Yeah, and I do actually hope I'm correct in that assumption that that's what they're doing, because that's smart, because it's either, it allows you to either have it gives you some wiggle room so you don't have to do get every single key, but now it's also, oh shit. But now because like I said, it gives you wiggle room, or it can be a reward for doing everything, you know? Again, provided of course that is indeed what's happening. I assume that's what's happening, but I have nothing to back that up other than just, well, fuck. Other than the fact that, like I said, I am aware Mephiles is in this game as a hidden boss. Shit. Sorry, what is this challenge again? Reach the goal. Got it. Damn it. Jeez. Well, it's only a reward if it's a secret boss. That's true. I know I want to do it. Like, I want to do it mostly just because I think it's kind of cool that a character like Mephiles, you know, who literally was wiped from all of reality, so probably Sega could, and hell, even Sega's been trying to wipe Sonic 06 from people's minds, because, damn it, they unlisted Sonic 06 from Steam years ago, because it's like, hey, if Mephiles can get another shot at life, maybe Infinite can, maybe Blaze can, so... Plus, even though I don't like Mephiles very much as a character, I think he's got some cool ideas behind him, you know? Again, and especially if... I do remember reading, and if I'm completely wrong about this, I apologize for spreading misinformation. The Time Eater, that's... oh shit. That's the main antagonist of normal Sonic Generations, was supposed to actually be like a leftover piece of Mephiles after he got erased from the timeline. Let's see. Isn't this whole game meant to be delving into Shadow's own memories or something? Yes, sort of. So the reason why this game was paired with Sonic Generations was because Sonic Generations, the basic plot was a creature known as the Time Eater showed up, and it was like eating all of time and space. Well, because of that, it allowed past Sonic and future Sonic to exist at the same time. Along with past Eggman as well. So the basic idea, and because Shadow was barely in the original game, is that because of all the time distortions going on, this has allowed Shadow to encounter people from his past too. Now, I know some people were actually kind of disappointed that Infinite wasn't in this game. I mean, I'm definitely upset, but as people have pointed out, Shadow didn't meet Infinite until well after when Sonic Generation was supposed to be taking place, so yeah, Sonic at this particular, or Shadow at this particular point in history wouldn't have met Infinite. But by the same token, it would be kind of interesting to have a character from Shadow's future who's like, it's you, Shadow, I'm here for my revenge. I'm like, dude, I literally don't know who you are. And considering that, you know, Infinite has baggage of being like, Shadow thought he was too weak, that he was completely forgettable, that would actually be kind of interesting in its own right, you know? Oh, well, I completely flubber-knocked that. Then again, I'm just an Infinite apologist, and I want to see Infinite again. Especially since he's canonically not dead. He's canonically stuck inside the Phantom Ruby. So I just think that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know who you are, but not Amnesia this time. Then again, I suppose, like, again, I did spoil myself on Mephiles being in this game. One of the things that Mephiles says to Shadow in this game is, I can't believe you forgot me again. So I could see them being like, having Shadow not know who Infinite was could just be too similar to their planned interaction with him and Mephiles, if you know what I mean. So I get it. Again, I like Infinite, so I want to see him. Since when you first meet Mephiles in Sonic 06, Shadow legit doesn't know who he is because, like what we said with this hypothetical situation with Infinite, he's meeting Mephiles out of order. You know. Because because it's not until Shadow goes back in time that he actually, you know, meets Mephiles. Well, that Mephiles actually meets him for the first time. I don't know. It's time travel kerfuliguk, so it is what it is. No, I'm not proud of that, you know, term that I just used, that I just made up on the spot. Break, you damn boxes. I need to break you for this challenge. Okay, got it. At the 10th hour, I got it. There's also the point that Sega's very fast and loose with their timelines. Also true. Okay, that's challenge 1. Where's the second challenge for this key? Oh, literally just right there. Oh, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. I need to get 100 rings. Easier said than done. Especially with it being me. I'm the coolest. I'm free. Oops. I pulled way too... Controls were way more sensitive than I thought they would be. Whew! I honestly thought I was going to die because I missed that eagle the first time.
Chaos control. control.
Whew! Also just down to the wire, completed that one. Oh, and I also got all the little collectibles in that challenge. Not bad. Sweet. I know this was a thing in regular Sonic Generations, but again, this is just, the presentation here is just so much better. I really do like the level rebuilding itself, or the world rebuilding itself as you complete challenges and stuff. Okay, okay, they're over there. Okay, they're in the place by Maria and Gerald. Like I said, I'm gonna do... I know I've never been much of a completionist. Anyone who's watched any of my videos knows that. But, again, for the sake of making sure that I have access to all the keys I need to face Mephiles, because, again, I do really want to do that, I'm gonna try to do all the challenges. Okay, but where are they? Okay. Back this way. Where is it? Okay, here's one. Okay, reach the goal. Time while dodging large numbers of spiked iron balls. Got it. You got it, Sonny Jim. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I bitched about the boost mechanic earlier in the series, but I'm getting used to it, I think. I do actually appreciate it a bit more now. I still prefer the kind of slower gameplay that, like, Sonic Adventure 2 had, you know? It's where you still felt like you were going fast, but I still felt like I was in a lot more control than what I feel here, you know? Okay, I can't blame anyone other than me. My thumb just got twitchy and pulled me to the left. Yeah. Wait, what is that? That is what that did. Got it. I was so expecting to crash into those spikes. Holy shit, did I actually just get an S rank? Yeah. Oh yeah, platform moved away from me. Yes, I'd love to return to white space. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm going to it. It's right here. Oh, it's another one of these. Just one ring. Got it. Okay, again, I'm not the biggest fan of how, you know, the fact that you do need to do all the challenges per ring, but, you know, I can't say that I'm hating them as much as I thought I was going to. I still don't love these challenges, but so far, none of them have been as frustrating as some of the challenges in regular Sonic Generations. Then again, I think I'm also probably just being a little more forgiving of these because there's an actual story worth caring about in this, whereas there really was not in regular Sonic Generations. I know. I'm the weird one expecting story from my bright, colorful platforming games, but I'm always someone who cares more about story and character than I do about gameplay. I mean, not that gameplay isn't important, and not that I don't care about the gameplay, because the game's not fun to play. This game has some really good cinematic moments racing along. I agree. Because, I mean, again, arguably at the end of the day, gameplay is and always will be the most important part of a video game. Because if you don't like physically playing the game, what are you even doing, if you know what I mean? But I still would like story and characters in the games I play, you know? And that's just very much because I'm someone whose favorite gaming genre is ultimately RPGs. And I'm story first person. Again, I agree. But I mean, just, again, as an example, Knights of Azure, the very first one. I love that game's story and characters so much. But I can admit the gameplay leaves a lot to be desired, which is a big part of the reason why I've never seen the true ending of that game, because I don't like playing it that much, and the gameplay is just a little too repetitive for me to really get, just to feel that the time is worth the effort, you know? But I also am of the opinion that it's like, I never would have given it a second glance if I didn't find its story and characters so interesting. Now, I am ultimately a little confused at the end about what the story ultimately is. I went about this back. I used my chaos control at the wrong moment. I see that now.
No.
Yep. I see when I'm supposed to use chaos control, and I will save it for that. Because, I mean, again, one of my favorite games of all time are the first two Paper Mario games, and they're not exactly amazing stories. But I like the story, and I like the characters, and the games are legitimately fun to play. So I think that's kind of like a good middle ground of all the virtues I want from my video games, you know? Nice. Just barely got an S. I mean, I also know that if I didn't genuinely find the Mass Effect gameplay so fun, I wouldn't have played through it as many times as I have. Collect a set number of dash rings. That's all. Yeah, again, you can have things that you can, like, just for example, I loved playing Splatoon 2. Never played the first one, and I don't have the third one. I put so many hours into it. I had fun, and that is a prime example of a game that is gameplay first, you know? Because, yeah, there is technically a story mode, but people play it for the multiplayer aspects, you know? And while I do absolutely enjoy Splatoon 2, once again, the fact that it is just a gameplay game, I would never rank it in like my top 10 favorite games of all time, even though I absolutely had a blast with it when I was playing it, you know? That's kind of what I mean. The games that are in my top 10 favorite games of all time are all games that have a balance between story, characters, and gameplay, or at least one or two of those elements. Again, the Paper Mario games, they have a great balance between gameplay and characters. Sorry, I meant to say story, characters, and gameplay. But the story is just okay for what it is. Tales Symphonia has great story and great characters, but I'll be the first to admit its gameplay has dated itself in not the greatest way. Again, I thought the gameplay was great when I first played it as a kid, but it doesn't hold up super well nowadays. Anyway. Mass Effect is great because it scratches all 3 boxes for me. Same with most of the Dragon Age games. But yeah. Because, I mean, hell, Biomutant is a game where I'd argue the story and the characters are abysmal, if not outright non-existent. But just the vibes and the gameplay, the game has such good vibes. I love playing it. Oh, hell yeah. It's what I'm made of, bitches. Okay, I gotta admit, I don't get why Shadow is fighting Metal Overlord here. I mean, yes, I get it. Technically, Metal Sonic and Shadow are both evil doppelgangers of Sonic. Evil, and it's, I get you, these are some games you get super into with the realistically not being that great. Oh, totally. Because, let's see. Surf spin to knock away. Okay. Because, again, I mean, I guess he feels he's the true ultimate life form, but I just don't get the Shadow connections, you know? I mean, I get that he's a character who wasn't in just basic Sonic Generations, and he was the main boss of the second game Shadow was in, but I don't get why they put Metal Overlord here over... I don't know. Like I said, besides Mephiles, the Bio Lizard, and Infinite, and Black Doom, of course, I don't know of enough characters in the franchise that are, like, Shadow-specific antagonists, you know? Although, again, I'm not complaining because I get to listen to what I'm made of while we're doing this fight. And, well, I do think it's unfortunate that, because, like, in a lot of the best Sonic games, you get to listen to the game's main theme during the final boss fight. And Sonic Heroes, you didn't. You listened to What I'm Made Of. By the same token, What I'm Made Of is just such a good song that I find myself not caring about that, you know? By the way, I should mention, Shadow shared most of his antagonists, I think. Yeah, which I guess is the reason why it's Metal Overlord, because again, Metal Overlord was the main villain of the second game Shadow was in. So, it's not like there's no connection whatsoever, you know? It's just, I still do find it kind of interesting. Honestly, though, this is a much better fight against Metal Overlord than what was in Sonic Heroes.
You think you can stop me?
Oops. Now, I will say this stage doesn't make any sense. Because, again, we fought Metal Overlord in the sky. There were very few, like, water-themed anything levels in Sonic Heroes, so Don't get me wrong, I think I actually prefer this oops. I think I prefer this stage to what was actually in Sonic Heroes, but I am just wondering what the connection is here, if you know what I mean. What I'm made of. Wrong direction. Shadow, what are you doing? What are you doing? You betrayed me. Oh. Okay, that's a problem. So it's not going to be easy to give Shadow an excuse to be in the sky. Fair, but this also could be a way they could use his new wings power up, you know?
You think you can stop me?
Actually, might even... I know that he wasn't a villain by any means, but he was a boss fight. Why not have Shadow fight Silver, you know? That'd be a way to bring Silver back in the franchise, and he was technically introduced in an antagonistic role in Sonic 06, at least at first. You know, same as Shadow. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Maybe I should just be happy to see Metal Overlord again, you know?
That power already belongs to me!
Like, again, I acknowledge I'm probably being just a little too picky. I'm probably being too nitpicky here. Faker! Okay, again, despite my logic questions or reasoning questions, putting those aside, putting those completely aside, that was a fantastic boss battle. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Like, yeah, it was frustrating, but I had fun. Like, I legitimately had a lot of fun with that. Yeah. No, it was really cool. And again, like I said, my logic questions aside about why it's Metal Overlord of all people, I still liked it.
Shadow? Are you in pain?
No. I feel a connection to the symbol in the sky. It's the same tingle as my new abilities.
It's
It is the power of Black Doom.
Grandfather?
I made a Faustian deal with that monster to create Shadow. Now it seems that we all have to pay for my sins.
So my powers, that symbol, they're all connected.
oh,
Maria's illness couldn't be treated on Earth. I could better manage her condition on the Ark, even if her family didn't like the idea. I attempted to develop the ultimate life form as a means to find a cure for Maria. My own experiments reached their frustrating limits. So when that alien warlord reached out to me and offered the miracle of chaos control, I accepted it. Through his DNA, the ultimate life form was born. Black Doom wanted me to make the perfect warrior for him. So these new abilities are all part of his grand design. You two are linked by blood. As you grow in power, so does he.
He will either take control of your mind and make you his ultimate weapon, or take over your body and be reborn in you.
You made me the ultimate life form, Professor. Black Doom is a fool. I'll take this power and use it as my own.
Edgy. Huh. That's interesting. How am I supposed to get there? It's surrounded by goo. Yeah. But that's in part of the world I have... Well, obviously I have been hitherto unable to access up to this point. That's, I would argue, kind of the point, but... How does the game propose I get there? You know, also, just the more I think about it, you know, we had Orbbot and Cubebot here, along with Big the Cat, who, you know, those are characters that did not appear in basic Sonic Generations. And I'm not getting off this anytime soon. Wouldn't it have made more sense to have, like, Silver show up here? Because, again, Silver... Because Silver debuted in Sonic 06, where Mephiles also debuted, arguably has more of a personal connection to Shadow. Hey, I'm glad you could be here, Endangered. Yeah, I hope you can, too. I just know that my usual stream times just don't work for you as well, but I'm glad you could come, period. See you next time.
No.
Okay. Doom morph. Okay, so this is how I go through this grimy gunk. Yeesh. Okay, that Mind Flayer comparison is getting more and more...
I can reach higher locations with this.
Okay, looks like I just can't morph wherever I want. Good to, that's really good to know. There's a very real chance if I keep going, I can beat this tonight. But on the other hand, I do have a few other things I should probably do this evening. Oh. No, I think I'd better call it a night. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining me on this bonus stream. Like I said, I won't be able to do my usual stream tomorrow morning because I have a work training. Abby won't be able to do her usual stream on Wednesday because she also has work. Depending on how everything goes tomorrow, there is a slim possibility I may be able to do an afternoon stream if Abby's not home yet, but I can't promise that. But the Edgelord stream will be normal, the normal one on Sunday morning. So I'm not sure when, but I'll see you guys then. Good night.